Hello lovelies, watching Jack Fox here. I'm gonna continue my What If Deku was solgaleo and lunala. Sorry for discontinuing this What If except for the first part. And I will get back to this one and another one tonight if I have a lot of time and if I don't pass out. So basically I was explaining a lot of stuff in the previous parts where I took down because it was too much explaining and not enough what if, and I'm so sorry for you guys to understand. So I'm gonna try to summarize it as much as I can. Basically, Lunala can teleport, which is the bat, and solgaleo can go through dimensions. Solgaleo mainly represents the sun, while Lunala mainly represents the moon. In the names as well. You probably know that already. So I'm gonna give them the powers as they can, but if I forget some, please do not get mad at me. It has been so long since I saw both solgaleo and lunala or seen their attacks. I already know the ship for this one was Deku X Momo. So here it goes. Where we started off is where Deku was born, and actually no, we already went past that. Basically, Inko and Hasashi did not really wanted a child of their own. They were not ready for the responsibility of that happening. So when it did happen, they were worried at the most part until they realized that they could leave their child for adoption. The second that both parents signed it and the baby was taken away, they both immediately regretted it because of what they have done. They realized that they could have been a happy family if they did. But since they technically did abandon their only child, they have messed up that future for them. Inko was crying in the hospital bed as they took the baby away. Hasashi sit down on the chair, holding his hands on his head, thinking what did they just do? Give their son to strangers that they don't even know. They don't know if they could take care of him properly or anything. They were basically told that Deku was gonna go in an orphanage for the time that he's gonna be growing up. They never specify which orphanage though. So if they find the orphanage that their son is in, they could re-adopt him and figure out that their child is back with them. They want their child back. And when they told the doctor about this, that the doctor said that they cannot do anything. The papers were already signed. Miss Midoriya and Hasashi. Mr. Midoriya and Mrs. Midoriya. The papers were already signed. We can't do anything. Your son is now gone. They already dropped him off. They already left to the orphanage. As they realize what they have done, their hearts sink at that moment. They have lost their only child. And what they have been told was even worse. Inko was told that she is no longer allowed to give birth because of what happened during Midoriya, when she was pregnant with Midoriya. What happened was Inko has gotten an injury so bad that only Midoriya could heal. But because they basically gave their son away, Inko could not get that injury healed, to the point where it caused Inko to not able to give birth to another baby. And what they just realized is that Inko cannot give birth to another child, and they have given away the child that could have helped them, and as well as their only bloodline. They were in grief at that moment. Ooh, hold on. Sorry about that, guys. Anyways, let's get going. So basically, we're going to Midoriya growing up into a bad and poor life right now. The orphanage that he is growing up in is very much underpaid, and as well as the staff workers are terrible to the children. Even the older children that never gotten adopted. that were tossed out and bullied by the adults. Deku was immediately enraged by this the second he was brought into this orphanage, as he sees a teenage girl being beaten by a man in his late 40s, telling her that she was a waste of space and that no one needed her in this orphanage. As the baby immediately set a fireball onto the guy, as the guy jumps off of the girl and immediately ran to somewhere. Didn't know where, but Deku was hoping that he left the area, knowing that Deku will now take control of it. Deku was the child that everyone liked, except for a few. The girl that he has saved hated him because of it. Now she's getting bullied even worse by the same guy. Deku continuously lures him off and scaring him off as much as he can, but the girl hates him still, until a rich family of two with a little girl comes in. They both ask if they could adopt a child. They needed a child to become a guard for their daughter. As the inn guy literally brought them over to a playground with full of children, and the teenagers sitting on a bench watching the children because they don't trust the adults. As the guy's wife points at a little boy, saying, "That one, he might be perfect for the job." As Midoriya looks up and seeing both people, both adults and the little girl, as he walks over to the little girl, ball in hand, and says, "Do you want to play?" As the little girl was a bit nervous at the start, then joined in. All the other children slowly joined in. The children were having fun, being happy, as Deku mainly plays close to the parents so they won't dilly-dally off. Because once that happened to a parent and then their child has been dropped into the orphanage and never gotten picked up, which was sad. The little girl is still waiting for her parents to pick her up. As Deku is adopted by these two rich parents, as at that moment other children slowly gotten sad in their place. And before Deku basically goes with them, tells the father on what's going on inside the entire play place, saying that how the adults treated the children and how the teenagers have been treated, especially a group of teenagers that knows that they are good but act bad for a reason. Even the little kids are even mistreated. The father decides to buy the orphanage from the owner. The owner was rich and gave it to the employees. They immediately left, as the father says that he has ownership of this place and made it spectacular. I have no idea if that's a saying now. The place has been upgraded, as now Deku is training for being a bodyguard to this girl. This girl with black hair and put into a ponytail. She has a bang swept to the side. As she always sees him train, and Deku never looks at her directly because he knows that is a way to get beaten. Because that's what happened when he looked at another little boy asking him to play while he was doing the chores. He got beaten and then punched by another kid. The same kid who asked him to play. Deku knows that he will not stand by this any longer. He goes play with the little girl, and even goes on to play with the kids in the orphanage again. All the children have gotten their spirits up. They have more good food. The food way back then, before the new owners bought it, was like old and disgusting. As the girl with black hair introduces herself to Deku as Momo Yaoyorozu, Deku introduces himself as Izuku Midoriya. As she asks why was he in the orphanage, and Deku mainly says that he was dropped there when he was born because of his parents did not wanted him. As all was mainly going well at that moment. As years go by, Deku was mainly a bodyguard for Yaoyorozu. Deku has gotten a very good build of muscle mass to boot with his strength of his quirk. At that moment, Deku has become a full-fledged bodyguard for Yaoyorozu, and slowly got a couple of feelings for her as well. Over the years, that Yaoyorozu has helped Deku in certain ways by putting bandage over his wounds that after his training, and even after he got beat up once by bullies when he was in middle school. When Deku was told that he has to be there for Yaoyorozu even to the end, Deku said, "That is my role and I shall follow it." As Deku sees himself as a tool for Yaoyorozu, just equipment that could be useless by itself, but if held in a hand or hold by a person, could be used in several ways. Deku basically sees himself as useless, but having someone to protect makes him feel useful. As at that moment, Deku truly feels useless without Yaoyorozu, but when he was told that he has to go to UA in the entrance exam, being told that Yaoyorozu has already went to like rich portion of the exam, Deku was excited, being told that he has to go to UA with her to defend her. At that moment, sorry guys, this is gonna be the end of it for today.